She's pretty and smart and good at heart. She's light skinned and her eyes are green, her hair is clean. She's light skinned and her skin is so fair and she's so straight up front. She cooks good food and never rude. She's light skinned and don't have a fit, never heritage wet. She's light skinned and she's out of sight, don't call her away. She's light skinned and she's so great and bad and she gives awesome head. She gets it back before she's ahead. She's light skinned and she is sport or for support. She's light skinned and she's never cruel, no attitude. She's light skinned and she's so well behaved cause she listens from friends. She don't eat much of that to bed. She's light skinned and she's out of sight and never fight. She's light skinned and her skin is green, her self-esteem. She's light skinned and her skin is so smooth and she knows how to move. She's really thick, she can work the thing. She's light skinned and she's fun as wine with the mirth behind. She's light skinned and her skin is beige and you say she's light skinned and there's good white girl glass and a sexy fat ass. Her hair is long, let's sing the song. She's light skinned and she's the only one I want. She's light skinned and the one I call when I wanna have fun. She's light skinned and she's the only one I want. She's light skinned and light skinned and she's pretty and smart and good at heart. Her eyes are green, her hair's clean. Her skin's fair, she's straight ahead. She cook good food and never rude. Don't have a fit when the head is wet. She's out of sight, don't call her white. She great in bed with off her head. She'll hit the bag before she had. She plays sport, off her support. She never rude, no attitude. Well behaved, you send a slave. She don't eat much, her thigh don't tug. Out of sight and never find. Her skin's cream, high self-esteem. Her skin's smooth, know how to move. She really fit, can't write that thing. Fine as wine with a nice behind. Her skin is beige. We on the same page with a white girl class and a big fat ass. Her hair's long. Let's do this song. You can't dictate, but I dictate. She's light skinned and she's the only one I want. She's light skinned and the one I call when I wanna have fun. She's light skinned and she's the only one I want. She's light skinned and light skinned and she's light skinned and she's the only one I want.
Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I am your host, Game Changer. What you heard now was a song written by myself called Light Skinned. It's not that I have a particular preference for light-skinned, but I do have a strong desire to stick it to women who try to dictate what my dictates. Man has a right to like what he likes, no matter what it is. It's your prerogative, and you can do as you want to do, as long as she allows you to do it. Which brings me to Tyla. Now, because I don't really listen to modern music, I never really heard of Tyla until somebody mentioned her in my chat room when I talked about the beauty that is Chloe Bailey somebody one up me with the beauty that is Tyla. Hard to say which one I find more attractive, but these are both extraordinarily beautiful women to even rival the late great Aaliyah. I have to say that. Now, the problem with what's going on now is that she came out as colored. And then all of a sudden, her album sales dropped. I think she had like a 3,000 album sale because she's colored. She's not black, she's colored. And it really just, and I want to make this a quick video, but it really is just indicative of what is going on and what is going wrong with Black businesses and why it's very difficult, if not impossible, for a Black business owner to actually get off the ground. I'm going to be frank. We really don't like to see each other succeed. We don't. Which is why if a Black person was to open up a store in the neighborhood, people will shop at it. But these same people who are shopping at the store, they're waiting for one little slip up, just one little misstep before everybody walks away at the same time. See, they don't want to admit that they are boycotting the place or they're canceling the place just out of spite because they don't want to see other Black people succeed. But once they find like one little thing that they can say, aha, boycott, got them, then it's all over for you. Other groups, they get a pass. So if you open up a store in a Black neighborhood and, you know, somebody decides to rob them and you call the police and that person gets arrested, oh, they'll boycott you. Now, they won't do that if another group of people do it, but you get the drift. If somebody try to steal from you and you stop them in any way, shape, or form, they will boycott you. Like, oh, I can't believe you hit this person that tried to steal from you. I can't believe you sprayed him with mace. They did it with Bill Cosby. They did it with Jonathan Majors. They do it every chance they get because a Black person's success highlights other Black people's failures. However, other groups of people's success really just highlights the privilege that they have due to their history. Hit the like button. We're going to get deep into this. So Tyla is young, extraordinarily beautiful in a Angela Bassett-esque classy way. She definitely has the physique that I like. She has what I call marriageable physique. Someone like Chloe Bailey, I don't know how many kids can pop out of her before she turns fat. I do know someone like Tyla, I can pop out about 6 of them and she will still hold it together. That's just her frame. She's always going to be like, you know, the boobs may pop out more, the booty may pop out more, but she's going to hold it together through a lot of kids. So she has that marriageable frame. You know, I've seen her dance. I never listened to her music, but, you know, the fact that she could sing, you know, is a desirable talent. And I've seen her dance and it is hypnotic and, you know, somewhat erotic in a classy way. So all the ups, she has so many things that the rank and file Black American women don't have collectively. The fact that she could dance outside of twerking is something that is lacking amongst Black women. Hit the like button. We're going to get into it. So one day she says she's colored. She's not Black, she's colored. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I did a little research to find out what colored is because colored means something different depending on where you're from. And come to find out, it's something very similar to what it means here and what it means in South Africa. And that is, it's a separate class of Black people other than the main class of Black people. So here in America, and we don't really talk about it because there's such a small percentage of the population, but we have something called Creole, which originally was called Creole Gens de Couleur, which means Creole people of color. This is a group of free blacks who lived in Louisiana prior to the Louisiana Purchase. So it was an awkward position, but Louisiana, which was once a territory of France, America purchased it and found that there was a society of black people that were living free. And of course, it being a southern state, and they just brought their slaves there and like, okay, we have the slaves and we have the people who are free, and these are the Creole people of color or colored people. It's the same thing. They couldn't vote, but they weren't slaves. It's one of those interesting dynamics that happened in history. So it's a different classification of black. Um, and it's a group of people that have their own different and unique history. It's not like they're mulatto or something where they, come from the culmination of two or more different cultures. No, these are tribes that are not Zulu that existed in South Africa prior to colonialization. That's it, that's all. Why would a person who, with an ancestry from a group of two or more tribes that are not Zulu, call herself Zulu? Now, it's a lose-lose. Because if she don't do that, or if she called herself black in the sense that, because black in South Africa means Zulu. If she called herself black or African American, then it's cultural appropriation. She'll get it from that group of women. Like, oh, you're culturally appropriating my culture, and you're, she would get that. And then if she says what she is, and that is, I'm actually a woman from this particular culture that not many people know about. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not representing us. How can she represent you when she's not you? She's not like you, and she don't want to be like you. Like, not that she, finds something completely repulsive about your culture, but it could mean that she's just proud of her own. And there's nothing wrong with a person being proud of their culture. Hit the like button. We're going to get into this. But really, people just seen it as an opportunity to take her down. They asked her the question on the Breakfast Club. She just like, listen, I'm not going to answer that question, because she understands, or at least her handlers, the people who, the people who are helping her, they understand that this is a lose-lose endeavor. So they're like, I'm going to stay out of this, and they are right to do so. Now, that doesn't stop her album sales from flopping. And that's because, once again, people see blood in the water. They see the opportunity to take down a person that they're jealous of. And trust me, this is jealousy. This is jealousy coming from both the men who want to sleep with her and can't, like myself. Doesn't make me jealous, and I still want to see the best of her. But I am a man that wants to sleep with her and cannot. So there's that group of men, and then there's the women who want to be her and never will be. Hit the like button. We're going to get into this. So there's a YouTuber by the name of Dee. I've often been to her channel, and she had something to say. But before I get into that, let me read some of your comments. All right, so DOD, salute. Chris takes salute. Someone thinks very highly of themselves. Well, she should be. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a person thinking high of themselves if they are the thing that they think they are. I mean, there's no delusion. If she thinks that she's beautiful, she is beautiful. I mean, if a person has like 180 IQ and they think that they're smart, it's nothing, there's nothing really wrong with that. They just have an accurate perception of the universe. She thinks highly of herself, and I think highly of her, as anyone should. I mean, I don't know if she's talented musically, and I really don't care. She's gorgeous. Black Americans don't discuss Tyla unless it's about her body. It makes Black women attack her. Yeah, she does have that slim frame. She does have that slim frame that I like. I mean, I like Chloe Bailey thick too, but sometimes, not all the times, because Pam Grier had a very long run, but sometimes those slim thick chicks, they lose the slim part and then they just become thick. But the slim chicks, the worst they can get is slim thick. And those are the marriageable body types, in my opinion. Those are the green bananas. You could keep it a while before it turns rotten. Tyla needs to be to some to do some. Explain that for me. I haven't seen a single person talk bad about Tyla except some randoms on IG saying she's only had one move. She only has like one move. Well, whatever it is, I like it. I don't care if she just had one position. I want to try it. All right. If she was bigger, she would be way more popular with Black women. Yeah. I mean, Black women just want their beauty validated as opposed to becoming the already existing form of valid beauty. And they can. They just don't. It wouldn't matter if she was bigger. In their mind, she's still trying to not claim herself as Black. I disagree. And that's because they give passes to non-Black people all the time. Rihanna calls herself Caribbean. They don't. They give a pass. They pick and choose who they want to mess with. Just like the whole DEI thing with Target and Walmart and Amazon. Oh, they pick on Target. Let's boycott Target. It's like, wait, Walmart and Amazon does. Yeah. We're gonna ignore that because Amazon is convenient and Walmart is cheap, but it's easier to boycott Target. That's just Black people. By the way, I shop at Target. That's where education is important. Colored means something different in her culture, entirely than what it means here in 1955. Yeah. So I went over that. Wouldn't know if it's entirely different than because they had colored people. I really think that white Americans at the time were kind of dense. That's why some of their signs said white only and others said no coloreds allowed. I think that they just didn't care to make the distinctions but society originally made the distinctions. They just called all not white people colored. People don't talk ish about just Black American women who are jealous. Oh yeah. This is classic jealousy. Now this one I want to cover. Her album flopped because it simply isn't good. Now, I haven't heard the album, and I do think that what you're saying is very true, that the album just isn't good. And they chose that as an opportunity to boycott. You see, it's easy to boycott something that they don't really like anyway. Once again, it's easy for Black people to boycott something that they don't really like or need anyway. But once they like something or feel that they need it, or if it's at a good price or something like that, they find a reason to justify shopping for that particular thing. It was an Asian weave store owner that I think he like smacked up a black woman or something like that, like in front of her kid. And it was this whole controversy and stuff, and they were gonna boycott him. And then the next day he was like half off weaves, and it was lined around the corner full of black women. Black men tried to stop him, but they fought him, literally. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This happened like 6-7 years ago. See, they can boycott. It's easy to boycott a song that's crappy. If Rihanna ever had a crappy song, they would boycott it. I mean, it's like, okay, they didn't buy it anyway, but then when they see others not buying it, they just work off the momentum and say boycott. She needs to drop the sex tape that me and her made. Yeah, in my imagination. Oh, you're saying that you and her made? Yeah, in your imagination, she don't have access to it. Why didn't they boycott her 2 years ago then? Well, I'm assuming because her music was good. Seems like she had like a recent album that wasn't as good as the previous ones, and because it didn't sell as much, they like, oh, there's an opportunity to boycott it. See, black people don't want to see their boycotts fail. Like, they didn't announce the boycott until after it flopped. But we're going to get into that. Let me just go to DD. As she reacts to the world's reaction. So basically, people are reacting to Tyla, DD is reacting to people, and I'm reacting to DD. That's just how it goes down sometimes.
Many black listeners turned away from Tyla after she rejected being black. Embracing the very opposite further, making racial segregation a meticulously enforced law that controlled every part of life. During apartheid, South Africans were classified into rigid racial categories: white, the ruling privileged class; colored, people of mixed heritage; black, the majority group, placed in very harsh laws, restrictions, and poverty. The term colored wasn't just a neutral label; it was a political tool. When Tyla was so appalled at being black.
All right. So notice how she made the conclusion of what Tyla was thinking. We don't know what Tyla was thinking. It could be that she's like, wait a minute, I am better than these people. Or to say that you're not something. Oh, somebody said there's an echo. Thanks. I'll take care of that next one. But to say that you're not something, that doesn't mean that you are better than that. For example, I'm not a Sagittarius. If somebody was to ask my zodiac and I was to tell them, and Sagittarius just came out of nowhere, like, so what you saying? You think you're better than us? Well, no, this is just what I am. What are y'all talking about the audio? Okay, let me see what I do about the echo. It's still echoing? Like, I thought it was echoing when the thing was playing. Is it echoing now? Okay. Anyway, where was I? Oh, So just because a person is a thing, that doesn't mean that they are against being the thing that they're not. It's not like politics. Like, if you're a Republican, then you're against being a Democrat and vice versa. If you're a Crip, you're against Bloods. It's not that. It's not that type of thing. It's like, listen, I fall into this particular ethnicity of people. We have our own culture and we have our own traditions that's separated from the Blacks who are descendant from the Zulu tribe. Now, here's the thing. I actually wish that she was Black. You want to know why I wish she was Black? That she was a Black South African? Because I get to see her titties. Hit the like button. Hit the like button if you ever YouTubed Zulu dancers and seen that they got some nice titties that they could show on YouTube, because that's their tribe. That's their tribe, their traditions, and their titties. But she's not Black. She's colored, and therefore I only see her shirt. All right, moving on. Wait a minute. Someone says no one's bothering Tyla, just like no one bought her album. Yeah. There's two things that's happening here. There is the fact that the album probably, and I don't think it was very good. That is a true thing. And people didn't buy it because of that. But then there's the other people who are like, that's why your album flopped. It's because you're colored. And they're creating momentum for her next album sales. It's like, listen, you are close to the edge, therefore we can push you. We can push you off because you are close to the edge. See, it's hard to cancel somebody like Beyonce, Rihanna, or something like that. But you find somebody early in their career, and I guess one of the 3 albums that you had flopped. They're like, "Ooh, we could cancel somebody like that, and we can make it a warning to other colored women to pretend to be Black." Even if she did say she was Black, she would still be South African. So what does that mean to you as an African American woman? It's all type of stupid. Hit the like button. Tyla is Indian. Her mom and dad are Indian, which is colored. In South Africa, talk is regular. Okay. Well, there's a lot of things that fall under the category of colored. I don't know if she's Indian or not. No, how does she try to pull a Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris? That's not a Kamala Harris thing, saying what you are. That's not like a uniquely Kamala Harris thing. Kamala Harris should try to insinuate that she was something else when it was convenient for her, or hide what she is. That's not what Tyla is doing. Black folks just don't like the term colored. She has to respect. No, she don't. No, she don't. And I'm going to go over that. But she even said that. It's like, listen, this is what I am. I know that word may mean something different in America, but it means what I am. It describes what I am. Just like Indians from India don't call themselves something different when they come to this country, and because the term may be offensive to Native Americans. They don't do that because it's stupid. We do a lot of stupid stuff when it comes to names here, when it comes to semantics. For example, Black people. We went from being the N word with the hard ER to the N word with the grow on it, to the N word with the A at the end of it, to colored people, to Afro-American, to African-American, to the N word again, and then back into people of color. So we went from being called colored people to people of color, and we think it's progress because we're stupid like that. Take time out to understand where people are coming from. Don't just bash them.
And singer who became popular, I think, a couple of years ago with her song Water. And she did pretty well. She's won a Grammy. So she's done pretty well for herself. But recently, she put out an EP that only sold about 3,000 or more than 4,000 units at this point. People are calling it a flop. So people are saying that this is her wake-up call because of the way she presented herself in Black America, in the United States. How some say she seems arrogant, some says, you know, she comes off as if she's better than other people.
She's better than other people. In my eyes, she is better than each and every single woman that is less attractive than her, which is a large swath of the population. She is better than a lot of people. Oh, the echo. Okay, I'm gonna do that next time. I'm gonna mute it next time. She's better. Just like there exists people who are better than me. Who's that NBA or NFL person that retired and became a doctor? He's better. See, we are following the footsteps of these jealous broads. Like, oh, first of all, these jealous broads who think they're psychic. Oh, she thinks she better. Like you read her mind. So basically, they just labeled her as arrogant and looked for an opportunity to humble her. And this album that didn't do so well was their opportunity. Like, oh, see, she just like us. No, she is not. She had a bad album. You had a bad life. It's a completely different thing. The desire to humble others will be the end of Black people. The like button.
And that she didn't want to identify as Black, which kind of turned off a lot of Black supporters who would normally support her. It turned because they feel like she doesn't identify as them, so to support her. This is why album is a flop. Sold about 3,000 units. If you come here and you're with your demographic, people support and buy your and patronize and buy your albums or your work, then you're going to find yourself in a vision. And this is for all body of work, put out music. It is very difficult for you to cross over and gain grassroots of
I don't know what you're saying. By the way, the same thing would have happened to Eminem if he had one flop early in his career. Now he didn't, Dre wouldn't allow it, but you know, if he had one flop early in his career, same thing would have happened to Eminem. Justin Bieber. There's videos of Justin Bieber, you know, just dropping N-words. Like at a table with his family. At the dinner table. Like, I mean, you know, same with what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. He actually was arrested for it. But he's too big to fail, so they just, oh, I'm going to get at a pass because, you know, it's Mark Wahlberg, it's Justin Bieber, you know, I'm going to get at a pass. But let her say that she's colors. Let her label her ethnicity correctly.
Got the hard way when you come into the American American market, trying to blend into Black culture and collect Black dollars. You don't get to disrespect us and spot. In America, the word color was plastered on signs to tell us we weren't good enough. To drink from the same fountains, restaurants, or even eat at the same counters as white people. This isn't about forcing someone to change their heritage, but understanding how these labels were built to uphold white supremacy.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I'm back. I could definitely see why she rubbed Black American women the wrong way. I could definitely see why she's so off-putting to them. Wow, just wow. That whole "can you carry it? I'm not strong enough" thing. Oh yeah, because it goes against a culture of women who pride themselves on their strength, who prides themselves on saying things like, "I can do anything a man can do, and perhaps even better," who feel that strength is their strength. She understands that, there's strength and femininity, and she embraces that strength. She had the strength to get a man to carry her award like a butler. Black women try to, curl it themselves. So I get it. Then there's this whole fake thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was light enough for her to carry. So yeah, I could see how she would be off-putting to these women. All right. Hit the like button.
Was the last time that Black American women tried to correct her or help her in any way, shape, form when it came to social races. Because at this final time, when trying to just get a little bit of help, her fans once again came out to be crazy. That is when her fans came out in mass and told Black American women basically that we need to get over ourselves and that there are stars all over the world, and that we are not the main topic of conversation. When in
Okay. I don't know what was going on. I don't know where it stopped or flopped or what have you, but it was just more of an overweight woman complaining about a smaller woman. Once again, she don't like her anyway. I'm going to repeat that. She don't like her anyway. So she says, like the Kid Choice Awards, what about her is kid friendly? Everything. I don't know what about her isn't kid friendly. Because when I was looking for pictures for the thumbnail, I seen some pretty kid-friendly pictures. So, I mean, she's not Sexy Red or Cardi B or anything like that. So are you saying that compared to Black American musicians, female musicians, she is not classy? I don't get what you're putting down there. One thing I know about what you're putting down is that it's not food.
On Black Americans. Like that is the only thing that seems to be sticking to this girl. And it's sad.
This broad is pretending like it's sad. Oh, it's just so sad that this pretty, skinny, colored girl isn't. No, you didn't want to see her succeed because you look like you ate her and then ate dessert afterwards. And your dessert was a wedding cake. Her wedding cake. That's what you look like. You look like Slimer from Ghostbusters. So let's not pretend like, oh, you was rooting for her and blah, 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 blah. No, this is an opportunity. You seen a chink in the armor. I'm talking about armor. I'm not talking about people here, YouTube algorithm. You seen a slit in the armor, and now you're attacking.
To us, but Rihanna also knew how to play the game. She didn't look at Americans and say, "You're sure."
I don't know what Tyla did, but I know she didn't do that.
She was famous. Like big famous. So the fact that Tyla wanted to Hollywood has rules, and especially Black Hollywood.
She's absolutely right, and the writing is on the wall. What she said about Rihanna. If you come here, you have to play a game. It's a game, really. Have rules that you're going to do what you want to do. Black artists or at what however you identify, especially if you look black and she identifies.
Once again, if Black America could have taken Rihanna down, they would have. If Rihanna had ever flopped, they would have done the same thing to her. And it's not really about, notice what Didi is saying. She said air of arrogance. It's not really about anything but how they perceive her attitude and demeanor. Like, she comes off as arrogant. Therefore, I'm going to wait for her. Once she's down, I'm going to bring her down further because I think that she thinks. So that's what arrogance is. It's how you perceive someone's demeanor to determine what they think. Like, oh, this person thinks that they're better than me. Well, did you actually ask them? No, but I could just tell by their air.
Music, more of her style or from her culture or whatever, I think it would be more acceptable because she's proven herself and she's made her mark. Just come on the gate thinking that you've arrived all right here because there's a lot of work to do, and you got to understand who the people are that support you. Make sure you're catering to the people that support you. Because if you don't, then you know you don't get that support. And that's just as simple as that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Success, if people are not feeling it, if they don't like something about you or multiple things about you, if you piss them off in a way that you know that and your career and your music will suffer. That's just how it is. That's why a lot of people say the music business is a business, and it's a tough one to crack. If you're coming into this country, you have to know how to play by the rules. You can't you don't get a head start. You don't Schmidt record label.
So, a musician's album flop, and Black women are using this as an opportunity to threaten others. Okay, for example, right? Say if somebody insults me, right? They insults me, say if it's a white person and he calls me the N-word. Now, I don't do anything, but let's just say the next day he gets hit by a car and dies. Then I come out like, yeah, that's what you get for calling me that. That's what happened. I mean, there wasn't talks of boycotts or, anything prior to, because I looked it up, prior to the record dropping. This is something that happened bad after the fact. This is something that happened bad later that they are taking credit for. Like, you see, this is because you was talking crap, even though she wasn't talking crap. This is because you wasn't representing for the people, which is not your people, but you still should have been representing for other people. This is because you didn't play by my rules. Trying to get the next musician to play by their stupid, foolish rules.
Labels and all of that. They could put a lot of money into you, all the things that they need to do to make you successful. But if the people don't support you, then there's nothing else that anybody can do. If people don't support you and they don't buy to you, then crap. Let's continue.
And I want this to dead any diaspora. Black Americans, Black American women do not have any voice or say so when it comes to culture, because clearly we do.
How she identifies, and she turned and hit that and looked at him is, I really like Tyla. Like, when she came out, her music, liked her music, her body.
Notice how he's speaking in past tense. I really liked Tyla. I still like her. I mean, she hasn't changed. I mean, just because you can be offended by something doesn't mean that you have to be. For example, right? I'm maybe like 19, 20 years old. And there was a woman who looked like she was somewhere between 45 and 55. And we talked. I worked with her. We talked, joked back and forth from time to time. And one day, she slipped up, and it was something she was white, by the way. It was something to the effect of, "You're just a boy." Now, yeah, I rightly could have got offended, but I knew what she meant. She meant that I am literally young enough to be her son. Yes, that term has, racial history, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and she is a white woman. But the truth of the matter is, she didn't mean it that way. And she's over twice my age. It's a completely different meaning from her perception. So yes, once again, I could have got offended, but just because I could get offended, that doesn't mean I should be offended. Black people look at offense as opportunity. I have the opportunity to be offended, therefore I am going to be offended. That's because they think that there's some type of reward for being offended, and that's because historically society rewards them for being offended. That's where all this reparation talk come from. Like, oh, I'm offended. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Let's see what he has to say. She looks like a Chinese statue. One of those meditating Chinese statues.
Her energy, her fashion sense, the whole 9 yards, right?
Black women think the Gambino crime family. They definitely overestimate the power that they have.
New artists and things like that, right? So I was actually waiting for the Breakfast Club interview to drop when she had it. And I remember when he asked her about her identity, and she turned and looked at him and didn't say nothing. I literally was like this watching the interview. Because
given her age, the fact that she's 21 years old, she looked back because she didn't know what to do. Here's what I strongly suspect happened. And so maybe if I have time, I'll bring up the Breakfast Club interview. But basically, Charlemagne said to her, asked her a question about her ethnicity, her race, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then she turned back, and then like her promoter or whatever, said no questions about that. And then she didn't respond at all. That is a trained response, but I think that there was more to it than that. I do think that they had an agreement that you are not to ask me questions like that. Like when you do interviews, you do have like, some people have like the option to have like, here's a list of don't ask questions. Don't ask these questions. These are on the list. Do not ask these questions. And what does Charlemagne the God do? He asks those questions because he wants to sustain his career off of hers. He's looking for a viral moment.
hit right. Why? Because she just offended a culture that when they're offended, you're going to feel it, which admit it or not, you will feel it. Then to top it all off, we live in a very anywhere else culture.
He's speaking truth. He's definitely speaking truth. America is a gotcha culture. Once again, the moment they see you slip, they'll tear you down.
And what I mean by that is if you do something that negatively rubs another group of people or an opposing side, what's going happen is they're going to sit back for something horrific or awful to you. Then they're going to highlight it, celebrate it. Whenever there's going on or something like that, talked about. We seen it with Mooney Long when she said what she said to the and their kids. This is what we're seeing with Tyla.
Okay, he's spot on with that. I mean, he looks like the guy on a Zigzag cover, and he has the cap on top of the hoodie with the hood on inside. But that doesn't mean that what he says isn't true. He is spot on. Chinese statue, once again. I don't know why I keep pausing it like in the middle of her blinks.
She said something that offended the community. Over here in the United States, standing back, highlighting it, pointing and laughing, saying, ha, ha, ha. You went from being looked at up to highly and, being looked forward to in the music scale, celebrate.
Fish and a basket of fries. Step into my office immediately. First, you need to decide who is going to be your core fan base. Sound, then I need you to go to Europe. The whites there, they love that. They love it down. So if you want a more global, more type of fan base, go to Europe. Go to the beans and toast. They will embrace you. On the other hand, if you want more Black American support to push your music and propel it forward, which I would argue is how your music started going forward with Water in the beginning, then you're going to have to wrestle with how you feel about being called Black in America.
Yeah, and I think she's absolutely right. And another thing too, I will say, as for Black artists, it's like you have to be solidified within the accept you or embrace you or make you popular until you are it's like you got to go through R&B if you're an R&B artist, or you got to go through the Black radio stations. You got to go through them first. That you go through them.
Okay, I'm back. Let me say something. Let me say this. If your career as a Black person or even a Black presenting person is any way tied to Black people collectively wanting you to succeed, then you are doomed to fail. Like Umar Johnson. If your success is determined by Black people's collective desire for you to succeed in any way, you are doomed to fail. I can't stress that enough. They would do that to they would even do it to Michael Jordan if they had the opportunity. It's just that, they didn't. He never lost momentum. So he went on to make his billions. Like all the Black billionaires, they never slipped up. Because Black people are just waiting for successful people to slip just a little bit so they could take them down further. And then say, yeah, This is because you didn't follow my rules. Okay, this is buffering bad, and besides, I'm really done with this one anyway. So let me move on to the next video. This is annoying. I'm probably start looking at OBS. Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna get off of that. It's funny. I had StreamYard for years, and they still have not fixed this buffering problem. Because I'm not the only one that this happens to with StreamYards. I mean, I know that it's worse on mine than most people, so I appreciate my core people for sticking with me through it. But they haven't fixed the problem. All right, so I'm looking for like Pink Book Lessons take on it. We'll cover that then. We'll go. All right.
Okay, so
Here we go.
there's a video going around. And it's actually kind of sparked a conversation. And doing well in the United States market or the Black American market. And before I get into going to here, I'm not talking to anybody that hasn't been to the United States for more than a year. I'm not talking to anybody that's never come to the United States. Okay, so if you're in those categories, this video is only for your educational purposes. This is not a conversation with you. The other thing is this: when Black Americans find out, it's not me, you part of my culture. So talking about diasporas, African Americans try to tell people that this is how shit
Okay, if that happens again, I'm gonna just call it quits on this stream. In fact, I'm almost done. This is annoying. These technical difficulties.
How to enter their space. No one tells it to the Cameroonians. No one tells it to the Ghanaians.
So basically, this is a black woman saying, "You see, you need to do what we tell you to do." Okay. I hope that this broad with bad dental hygiene and no damn hair. I hope that she's not so dense that she's telling a South African woman of color that America is racist. Hmm. I'm gonna go to South Sudan and tell them that Americans are poor because she got me in the mood to do something stupid. I'm gonna go to England and tell them that Americans speak English because she got me in the mood to do something stupid. America is racist. And in South Africa, they just all get along, huh? Keep in mind, our version of Jim Crow ended in the 60s. Theirs ended in the 90s, approaching the 2000s. Just saying. All right, I'm sick of this shit. I'm done. This is gonna go on members only. I apologize. Uh JT Hillstorm says so Black American women are using Tyla's career against her as a weapon to dictate her racial designation. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, they really just want control over. Black women just want to collectively grab the mic. That's what they want. They like, listen, if you don't push our sisterhood agenda, then we're going to take our mic away from you. Now, they don't have the power to take someone's mic away from them who's already doing well in the industry. But, she just started, and even though she won a Grammy for her first one, apparently her third one didn't do too well. So now they like, yes, you must obey us now. Type deal. Recognize that African Americans do not designate race with Americans or globally. Well, it's the African American is a ethnicity. I mean, Black would be the race, but the way her country of origin is designed is that Black is an ethnicity also. And this is the same with Dominicans, like Dominicans call themselves Dominicans and they call Haitians Black. So when they say they're not Black, they really mean that they're not Haitian. And they're not Haitian. But I think that they understand that they are largely part of the Negro race. But very good point, JT. All right, says, I do not know much about this Tyla situation, but I have heard that it was her fans as well as who were being obnoxious, saying that she doesn't need the American market. Maybe. I mean, it's too early in the career to be controversial if that's her strategy. But yeah, her fans probably said that. I mean, no politician would say, I don't need a particular voting block. Even if it's a small one, even if it's like, they're not going to come out and say, I don't need the Eskimo votes, especially early in their career. My African queen. Yes, she is an African queen. Who is Tyla? A very attractive young woman. She could have used Dr. Umar's help. Why? Dr. Umar has nothing and he has nothing to offer. The Hotep community has no power. It damn sure has no money. Whenever he throws a parade, it can fill up like a small Baptist church, the number of people that goes to his parade. He does his little ridiculous dance and then he pretends to marry 2 overweight Black women, one of whom is probably already married. And that's his whole fantasy. It's weird. I mean, Hoteps think they're doing something. They're not. They're just circling the waters, waiting for other people to fail and then talk about Hotep, to get them aboard. All right, Gambino crime family. All right, so yeah, on that, I'm going to shut down. Once again, apologies for the poor quality. I got to find something. I got to find either a workaround for this or just not deal in StreamYards anymore. Anyway, thank everybody for participating. This Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.